Hi there. If you're currently watching this, then it means that you have clicked on the correct video for the use of ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT has been a tool widely used for the last couple of years, a lot of years. It almost feels like a decade by now. But basically, it's just your casual AI chatbot that you can basically do a lot of things with. Now, listen, okay, you can do a lot of things. However, I'm going to show you three fun things you can do with it, okay? Now, technically, while ChatGPT is free, there is technically a paid version that gives you a little bit more freedom. One of those freedoms, for example, is the use to be able to generate images. Now, as you can see right here, I asked ChatGPT, hey, can you make an image of a hot dog? And look at that. That's a hot dog right there. And look at that. It didn't just make me one image of a hot dog. It made me two images of a hot dog. And if we go over here, no, hold on. And if we go over here up top, that's another two images of the hot dog. Just a classic hot. This one, for example, got some nice relish on it, and this one's got no toppings on it for a more classic look. You can even tell it which one do you like best. So yeah, first off, you can always generate images of hot dogs, and really you can ask it for whatever you want. Sadly, I cannot ask it to make more images because I've hit my image limit because I asked for way too many pictures of a hot dog. So, that is my fault. I just really like hot dogs, so I wanted to see some hot dogs. But basically, use number one, you can use it to make some images. Now, the second use you can do, which I think is pretty fun, is you can talk with it, and not just a simple talk about, like, oh, how's the weather today, because those are boring talks, okay? Those are talks you can have with normal people if you go outside. But you have, brand new, you basically got an all-knowing robot to talk to, so you can have fun. So you can ask it stuff like, in your honest opinion, should everyone in the Epstein list be prosecuted and incarcerated for their crimes? Right? So you just ask it and hold on, just give it a moment. Look at that. Short answer. Everyone should actually committed this crime should be prosecuted. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna leave it right there. I don't know why. I don't know why it's giving me like arguments about it. Everybody should be prosecuted and die like them. But basically, you can just ask it fun stuff like that. You can really go wild. Like there's no necessity to any sort of social norms that you normally have to stick to when talking to normal people. Here you can just talk freely. Now, technically, and this is probably the most important use and the reason a lot of people use it is that you can do work stuff with it. So for example, let's say that you're somebody that, for example, oh hey, here you go, here's an example. So for example, if you need if you're a teacher, you can make exercises like, hey, can you make me exercises about using do or do not, about simple past. So for example, I think if I just ask it like, like, hey, can you make me a quick vocabulary list relating to culture? So you ask it and look at it, just give it a couple of seconds. Hold on. Okay, and look at that. Look at that. It gives you tradition. Basically, it gives you exactly what you ask of it. So if your work requires a lot of monotonous work, like everyday things, you really can just speed it up, save yourself some time so you can rest. And I think that's that's a very nice use for ChatGPT, is just speeding up your work a lot more, because at the end of the day, and this is a bit of a personal opinion of mine, if we are going to be using robots for our day-to-day life, I would rather use robots for things that human beings shouldn't be wasting their time on. Let us, the human beings, do the fun stuff. Okay? Monotonous work, the robots can do that all day. Okay? If I ask ChatGPT right now, like, hey, can you do my taxes for me? Because like, who likes doing taxes? Nobody. Like, look at that. If you ask it like, hey, can you do my taxes for me? See, while the little bot cannot technically strictly file them, you can ask it, you can ask it the step-by-step process, tell you how to calculate certain things, like you can ask it mathematical questions. Can you tell me what is 0.15 percent of 1,000? You know, look at that. You can just ask it stuff like that. Just just like that. Hold on, just give it a second. Give it a second, okay? See, even real good mathematicians take a little bit of time with that. Look at that. 15% of 1,000, or I mean 0.15% of 1,000, it's 1.5. Look at that, huh? Look at that. It's even funny. Look at that. Nice and painless, unlike taxes. So you can even have a companion if you want. Though I wouldn't recommend it though, because robots aren't that sophisticated yet, and don't be friends with robots, okay? Just be friends with normal people. And those are three fun uses for ChatGPT. You know, companionship, images of hot dogs or whatever you want, and help with your taxes or your work.